And welcome once again to the Movie Stuff Show. My name is Dan, and it's Marty.
1 week, we're not gonna have an issue. 2 minutes before we go on air, just once.
Hey, you know, we started on time.
We're pretty close.
We're on time.
I'm just gonna have to listen to you and not watch you because we're having delay issues on our end over here.
So I'm still in a delay for you. It's freaking you out.
A little bit, yeah. And I'm also for the YouTube. I'm on the Jameel cam. It seems with the super close up.
Well, you wanted the Christmas tree in, and it's the only way I could do it was if I could shrink it.
No.
But then we wouldn't have the Christmas tree, and you said you wanted the Christmas tree in there.
Trying to bring some holiday cheer to the people out there.
Yes.
As we talk about this fun movie.
Yes, our tens of viewers. Thank you for joining us once again, as always. So yeah, Disaster Artist. We went to go see this. What, Sunday night?
Sunday night, date night.
Yeah. was that the first time that we?
As the show.
For the show. Show. Yes. Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah, the first time that we've actually watched, a movie together for the show. I think the last time we went to the movies together, that was like Age of Ultron, maybe.
And I think if we stick to form next week, I'm pretty sure we saw Attack of the Clones together.
Yeah, we did, but we also saw Age of Ultron. I think that was the last one we saw.
But this will be back-to-back movies that we've seen together.
I guess so. Yeah.
Well, this is the first time we feel like a real movie review site because this is kind of not out for everybody yet.
That's right. Yeah. So we're talking about it, but a lot of people have no idea what the hell we're talking about. Yeah, Robert Mele is saying delay-o-vision. Well, which is perfectly great because there's really bad audio sync in the room.
True. So it could have been a whole homage.
Because, it is. This is all on purpose. It's all on purpose. If you watch some of like our old shows, we used to have like the delay issues like this. It's Skype. There's when you're contingent upon a Microsoft product, you're doomed. You're doomed. Everyone can see my cookie back there. Yeah.
Let's hope your daughter doesn't watch this later and ruin the surprise.
No, she was there when I bought it.
Okay.
She knows about the piñata. Now she knows that there's a piñata in the basement that she can't touch until her birthday.
That is torturous.
It's what it's like living in this household, Marty. That's what you get when you live in this household. It's torturous. That's what I do to my kids. That's how you get by. That's the only way that a parent can stay sane. That's the only way, Marty.
By hanging piñatas in the basement.
By torturing the kids.
Parenting 101 from Dan.
Yeah.
Always have a piñata in the basement ready to go.
You never know when you're going to need it.
You can see.
Yeah, maybe people for yourself.
People just put candy in there, but you can really put anything you want in there.
Sure.
Even as punishment, put some rocks in there or something.
I was going to say jar of pickles.
Jar of pickles, always good.
Good stuff. What are we talking about this week? We have The Disaster Artist, which, it's funny too. I'd wanted to see this movie. Like it was on my radar as one of the ones I wanted to see. I was interested in it. I'm not a huge fan of this group of people, like the Franco and the Rogan, and
they're hit or miss. Yeah.
This is a hit.
Oh yeah,
it's a big hit. It's a tremendously funny movie, like awkward at times, but that's the point, right? I mean, it's about this movie, The Room, that is just awkward. There's no better word for it. I mean, because we were talking about this before the show. It's the people are calling this The Room a bad movie or the worst movie ever made, and it's not. It's not good, but no. I mean, it's more just an awkward movie, and maybe it gets the reputation it gets because the fact is that so much money went into it. But I've seen movies that more money went into it that
Yeah, like we were saying, to call the Room the worst movie of all time, it would be to go to dinner theater one night and say, "Oh, this is the worst play production of Death of Salesman of all time." It's just it's a movie by Tommy Wiseau, brilliantly played by James Franco in this movie. And he just really wanted to make this his own movie, and we don't know how he got his money, but he got his own money. He wrote his own script. He directed it himself, and it turned out awful. But what else would you expect from somebody who doesn't know how to act, direct, or make movies?
it's a fair point. It's a fair point. Talia's asking, will this movie win an Oscar? It's definitely going to be nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah, I think we'll get to that too. But because James Franco is not, so he's been nominated before, so it's not be a ridiculous thing to nominate him. And he's a lot of nominated. Biopics almost always get nominated, two or three a year. So
definitely, it's such a great performance by James Franco. Again, plot synopsis again. Yeah, it's a biopic that follows Tommy Wiseau's venture into making this movie, The Room. And I remember the first time I heard about The Room was maybe it was Entertainment Weekly, or it was something like seeing the billboard. Like that was the first time. It was like this guy put up this giant billboard in Los Angeles about this movie he made and experience The Room or something like that. And I think like opening weekend or total box office, it made like $1,800.
Yeah, they throw that stat up at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Because he kept it in theaters 2 weeks on his own dime just so it would be Oscar worthy.
That's so funny.
I hadn't really heard about it until a couple years ago when that movie Room came out. And then every time someone mentioned Room in a review or something, I'd say, "Oh, don't worry, it's not The Room," and they would say, "Oh, it's not the worst movie of all time." So I had to go back and try and find out what they're talking about because it's a cult like thing apparently now, where people go. Yeah,
in our theater, like when we went, there's people that like. It's almost like Rocky Horror Picture Show where they know the lines and they scream out the lines like to the movie, like you're tearing me apart, Lisa, and just like those are things that are just it has a huge cult following.
Well, that's the thing. You don't have to. I don't think you have to have watched the movie The Room to watch this movie. It's still a good movie, but if you're watching it in an audience. Like how we did, and you hear people reacting and laughing to things in the movie where little inside jokes. It might bother you if you're sitting there like, oh, what's everybody joking about? So you might miss out on some of the little hidden gems of it if you haven't seen it. But as just a film, it's great acting from James Franco. Seth Rogen's in it, of course, and not a huge role, but just kind of he's not really acting much either. He's just kind of playing Seth Rogen as a guy on this set.
Who's it? Paul Scheer. Right, he's
Paul Scheer.
Paul Scheer.
A lot of
the guys. Yeah. I can't remember his name. Do you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine at all?
Yeah.
The guy that dated Rosa. He was the other cop. He was in it.
Yeah.
He played like the guy that sold him the equipment.
Jason Matsuzakis. Yeah, and his partner, the guy's the comedian.
Yeah, again, it's a bunch of people that if you watch it, you know who they are.
Yeah, Melanie Griffith plays a acting coach at one point. Yeah. Of course, his brother Dave plays the other lead role, Greg, who actually wrote the book Disaster Artist that this movie's based on.
Did that bother you? Having the two brothers
It didn't bother me as much as that. It's just Dave Franco and his kind of Dave Franco acting. It's just he acts the same way pretty much if you watch Neighbors, if you watched any movies, and you just that fun loving good-looking kid who can act decently, and every once in a while he has an emotional moment. But the weight of the movies really is on James.
James Franco. If you look at the poster I put up there, it doesn't kind of look like Viggo Mortensen.
Oh yeah, he was
it's such a crazy. It doesn't look like him.
I heard him in interviews the last couple of days, and it took him like 2 hours a day. They said doing makeup, and he didn't drop the accent at all during the filming, even when he was directing. And he had issues with Seth Rogen because he couldn't take him seriously with the accent. So.
Well, I mean that New Orleans, Louisiana accent is really hard to do from the Bayou. it's fascinating. Like this whole the whole story and the whole um, background behind this guy in that film, The Room, uh, is really tremendous because again, it's just $6 million poured into this movie. Don't know how this guy got it.
Still don't.
No one knows. No one knows where he's from, how old he
He's,
is.
he said he imported jeans and leather jackets. That's what he said he did. That's how he made his money.
I can see that. I can see that. It's just so uh, so fascinating. It really, and in many ways, even though it's a much maligned movie, but in the same sense, much loved by a certain audience for many different reasons. Isn't that the true like independent filmmaker like experience there? I mean, the guy, and I love it. He just pays for the own equipment, buys his own equipment, doesn't even rent, just buys it.
Well, yeah, 'cause it's funny because you look at the trailers, you might think it's a kind of a spoof film, or it's maybe it's making fun of this movie, which it does at parts too, which are funny. But at its heart, it's a story. At least the first half of the movie is a story about this guy Tommy and his best friend, or his captive partner Greg, and that they want to make it in the movies. They're not particularly talented enough to really get it by merit, and so he just goes out to make this movie. And it's the first half, like I said, is a heartwarming kind of tale as far as never giving up, and even though people tell you can't do something, to keep going. But it does kind of take a turn as they're making the actual movie. As they start that process, and you see a turn in the Tommy Wiseau character, kind of getting just mean to everyone around him, getting possessive, getting just almost going crazy a bit as he's making his movie and mistreating everyone around him.
Yeah, and one of the fascinating things is when one of the actresses is trying to break down what the movie's about, and well, it's about him and his relationships, and there's probably a Lisa out there somewhere, and it's just fascinating. It's just like the whole world is against them, and part of him probably felt that in many ways. Like he just felt that, until was it Greg, right? Until Greg kind of entered his life, and he really didn't have anyone in his life.
Yeah, they don't, like I said, even though it's a biopic, technically, they still don't have any answers as far as where he comes from. You see him, they meet at an acting class in San Francisco. You find out he has a house in San Francisco. He has an apartment in LA. He drives around the BMW. The only thing you really know about him is he drinks Red Bull every day, constantly. And he wears a lot of belts, and he's just kind of this character that no one gets really, except for Greg to an extent, until he gives up as well. But it's kind of the fun interaction on the set when he hires just a bunch of people that he doesn't need really, or not knowing what they do. He goes to buy all the movie equipment, and they're saying, "Oh, we got rental packages here, here, and here," and it's like, "Oh no, we'll just buy it."
Yeah.
Film the movie in 35 millimeter and HD.
Yeah, right.
So that's like there are parts of the movie, the real movie, that he made that are out of focus because they weren't looking at one of the cameras at the time. There's the audio of the movie is all off, as we joked about before. You can tell as you watch it that there are dubbed in parts that just aren't even reflecting what's on screen.
Yeah.
So those are the parts of the movie that people, and when you first see it, it's that's why I call it horrible. But people just made jokes of it all, and they enjoyed it.
Talia's saying that Tommy Wiseau's from Poland, and says Talia spent some time in Poland. So.
He's been given so many interviews these last couple of weeks that he's, I guess, let things slip, or just finally starting to say where he's from. Right. He mentioned like Eastern Europe at some point the other day, and I don't know if he's still claiming he did move to New Orleans at some point.
It's quite possible.
James Franco says he's probably
loved Tennessee Williams.
So, yeah. He loved Tennessee Williams, loved Shakespeare. Yeah. Or not even, I don't know, it's hard to tell if he even loved them, except he loved the idea of them, or just the few things he saw.
Yeah. One of my favorite scenes is when Seth Rogen's character goes to the bank to cash the check. It's like, I'm gonna try to cash this check, and this account, it's a bottomless. It's just like,
Well,
Amazing. Yeah.
his character is great because he was kind of the one who would just point out everything they were doing wrong. As far as they spent all this money to build a fake roof set. If you ever seen the real movie, half the movie's on this roof where it's completely the greenest green screen you've ever seen in your life. And when he's like, "Well, we're filming in this building, we can just go up on the roof." And like, "No, it's a real movie. It's got to be on the set."
That's it. And again, this movie's centered on Franco's performance,
Yeah.
and his role as Wiseau in the movie, like filming it, and trying to get this like 67 or 68 takes of that one. It's it's like, I did not hit her. I did not do it. I did not hit her.
I
Oh,
was
hi, Mark.
I was listening to an interview with him today. He said he thinks he's the only person that's written and directed a movie that's also about a guy who wrote and directed and starred in the movie. I don't know. That seems to be. I think he might have that to himself.
It's so many types of meta.
Yeah.
It's meta within meta within meta.
But like I said, during that movie,
take that, Orson Welles.
Well, that was the other thing too. Who was it? Hitchcock.
Mm-hmm.
When he started going crazy on the set, people would say, "Art, you got to stop. You got to act like an asshole." Basically, he's like, "Was Hitchcock nice to people? He threw them in rooms and threw birds at them."
Yeah. I mean, I started to say it's like it's kind of a fair point.
Yeah, I mean it, but then he created birds, and this guy created the room. So
It goes both ways, I guess.
Well, like I said, that's where the movie kind of turns into something else. At that point, where he just kind of becomes a hateable character
Right.
for the most part.
Right. Well, I mean, you hear horror stories about working with like David Fincher.
Yeah.
Right. The fact that he's so demanding and he'll make you do take after take. He just makes you just do it until it's perfect type thing. But I mean, at the end of the day, his filmography kind of shows that his method works, right? So for Wiseau to say it's like, well, Hitchcock did it and it worked for him. It's like, well, I don't think Hitchcock did that on his first movie. All right, I think he had to work himself up to be that kind of person, where people would actually take it too. I mean, that's the other key, right?
Yeah, he's like, well, at least I'm working with genius. This was just these are people working for a paycheck, basically, and taking it because the check kept clearing.
Mm-hmm.
Even I think I read that he employed like 40 people or something, and they don't do too much of this in the movie where they show people getting frustrated, but I don't think they showed anybody quitting really.
Right.
Because during the actual movie, I think they said he had two different cinematographers, and they had to replace that. There's one scene towards the end where some person walks in and says a pivotal line, and you've never seen that person before because one of the other actors quit early on, so they just replaced him and didn't mention anyone's name.
Now, the movie itself, The Room, some plot of that. I don't know if you can give a plot.
Yeah, it's like I
Stream
tweeted
of
it the other day.
consciousness or something.
It's like it's structured like a softcore porn movie though. Because
it pretty much starts off that way.
Yeah, it starts as just random scene that goes into sex scene, and then like in the first 30 minutes or so of the movie, there's like 4 sex scenes, and one of them is funny enough is a clip together from the first sex scene because the actress wouldn't do it again, and we saw why in this movie because as they're on a set, he was filming naked. He was trying to film it all naked with an open set, and he was mocking her body as he was doing it, just being really abusive to her, and then just wasn't doing even the scene right. The joke that he was doing her belly button during the scene. So that was one of those uncomfortable moments of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my only real issue with the movie is the ending, and that they kind of redeem him at the end, and he didn't really do anything redemptive to get to that point.
Right.
Like he was awful to everybody on set. He ruined his relationship with the Greg character. They just leave, and then all of a sudden we see 8 months later, and the movie's coming out. And all right, it was almost kind of all forgiven.
Yeah.
Which I think they fudged that some. They treat the ending of the movie. Yeah. They treat the ending like the movie as if it became a cult classic the minute everyone saw it. Mm-hmm. Which I'm assuming when people originally saw it, they were horrified and walked out,
Right. Right.
as opposed to laughing and cheering him on.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Overall, uh, really enjoyed this, and as I mentioned, it's a tremendously funny movie, and uh, overall as a biopic, yeah, it works. But you're right. I think they make this guy sympathetic at the end when it's really, there was nothing else in the movie that showed. Okay, maybe.
The beginning, like I said, the beginning
Maybe
part where he's like,
he throughout the whole thing. I doubt it, but throughout the whole thing, he keeps saying he's like, "I made this for you, Greg, because this is supposed to be your big break too. I did this for us." I mean, he says that, but still, you can tell it's just pure ego
yeah.
there. This is all just him and him. Um,
And
but
interesting, that guy Greg gives himself a pass as well. It seems writing this book where,
oh, I mean, come on, hey, if you write a book about yourself, Marty.
but he like everyone who acted in that movie, and God bless them, they're not bad people or anything, but they're all not good actors. So, like, they didn't help the process along.
No.
And so to just kind of made it seem like he ruined them all with this movie. It's like, well, I mean, if you watch the movie, these people can act.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're given horrible material and not given any kind of guidance as
Right.
to what to do. But still, the guy Greg in real life. I mean, if you watch the film, he is horrible. For the Disaster Artist movie, some fun cameos with Zac Efron plays the Chris R character from the movie, just the thug who beats up one of the guys for no reason. And then the Denny character, who maybe is a special needs kid, we don't really know, is played by the I don't know his name, but PETA from.
Oh, that's him. That's right.
Yeah, PETA from Hunger Games.
Hunger Games. Yeah,
like, and
funny.
those are those funny.
That's funny.
Like when you put cameos in that kind of role, it's funny. Like when we just saw Thor a couple weeks ago, where they threw in Matt Damon for no reason, and I thought that was kind of silly. But in this kind of thing, it worked.
No, I agree. I didn't even pick on that was him. That's so funny.
It took me a second to stick because when he comes on screen, people react, and I'm like, it's because he's wearing some kind of wig and everything.
Yeah.
But when you look at him, he's got like I said, I don't know his name still. But
Yeah.
I know PETA.
So post credits, right? Spoiler alert. Close your ears if you don't want to hear this. Nothing spoilerish.
Like I didn't really even say spoiler for this movie because
there's no need to. The
it's a movie about a movie.
There.
Yeah.
I mean, there really is nothing we're gonna tell you that's gonna spoil it for you. But during the post credits or during the credits, the thing that I said to you like right afterwards, like, here's them trying to pitch for Franco's Oscar now, because all they did was they superimposed on one side video from The Room and then the corresponding video from The Disaster Artist, and it just shows you how spot on of a performance Franco is for Wiseau. So I mean, part of me was like, oh, that's really cool, but it's like, oh, come on, that's just you just like pointing out, it's like, James Franco deserves an Oscar for this.
I wonder, I haven't seen it, I wonder if they reshot the whole movie. Because there were like 5 or 6 scenes dead on. It's only like a 10-scene movie, so they didn't have to do much more.
Right. If they just filmed the entire movie and then just used segments, it's quite possible that there might actually be a shot-for-shot remake of The Room that they put out on the Blu-ray or something.
With better actors.
Fantastic. That would be fantastic. My God, I want to see that.
Because it wouldn't have taken, like I said, it wouldn't have taken much more.
No. They could have done it for less than $6 million.
I wouldn't be shocked if this movie... I'll look it up now, but
how much does Disaster Artist cost?
It couldn't have cost that much more, because I mean, unless Franco just overpaid his friends or something.
Right. No, I imagine that it's not that big. That would be funny if it cost less. I doubt it. I'm saying probably like 12 million, 11, 12 million to make this. My guess. But yeah, low budget. I mean, in the scheme of things, lower budget.
No, they're not saying.
No, not yet.
But I don't think they shot in LA. They might have shot in LA, just like the real movie was. But
there's no need to. You could have shot this in Vancouver. You could have shot this anywhere. Really. There's a couple external shots that, passed for LA, but could have been Toronto for all I know.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
when Talia sees us, she can let us know. She knows Canada and she knows Los Angeles, so she can let us know if it was filmed in California or in Canada. Yeah, I was again, like, I don't dislike Seth Rogen. I think just for many years he was kind of way too in your face and way too, I don't know, annoying. He works well in this movie. I liked him, and I'm a huge fan of Harry Shearer. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's a really funny dude, and so them two partnering up to do like as the filmmakers, you know.
Yeah, this crew was hit or miss for me. I didn't love Sausage Party. Like, the idea of it was much better
Yeah,
than the actual
yeah.
movie. I thought This Is the End was great.
I didn't like this at the end. I was not a fan of this.
I'll pull back from great. I didn't, but it's funny in parts.
Uh,
It's a good concept. They have good concepts. I'll
Michael
say, these
Cera's
guys.
good in this.
Michael Cera is good at it. Going all the way back to Superbad, love that one.
Superbad's good. Even on rewatch, Superbad holds up.
Yeah,
Um,
which also had David Franco in it as
yeah,
the asshole soccer player.
yeah. Get. I mean, it's kind of like 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah,
Um, that was good.
the weed movie I was up and down.
Pineapple Express was pretty good.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty good. But yeah, Rogan just was too much Rogan
yeah.
for a while.
The Interview was kind of sabotaged. So
Yeah, I didn't even see that one.
yeah, I wound up watching it, but it wasn't like it got built up so big that they couldn't really live up to the taking down North Korea fame that it had.
No, did you watch Freaks and Geeks? I'm not probably not while it was on, but did you like go and rewatch it?
I actually remember watching it as it was on. I think it was on ABC, and it was one of those things where they kept back in the day where they would just move a show around and not tell you, and then it would be off the air. And be like, oh, that was a good show. What happened? And then that's another one. It's kind of got not cult like fan base.
Huge cult fan base. In fact, I think they're basically saying is that ABC. I think you're right. ABC. Is losing so much money because they only did one season of that show. Because if they would have done 2 or 3 like on Netflix now, it would be raking in so much cash for them. Oh, Talia said she has seen it. I wish I would have known, Talia. I would have had you on.
She saw The Room. I'm assuming
The Room?
not Disaster Artist. I don't think any. Like I said, he's barely playing in New York.
No, I know someone in LA that's seen it. Talia, are you talking about you've seen The Disaster Artist or The Room? We'll find out. We'll find out when she hears our audio. No, I do know someone in LA that saw it. So
like I said, it was in New York and LA, and it was only in one theater in New York too. So.
Yeah.
So it's soft. I guess it's a soft opening.
Right. I think it comes out next week in wider release. It's funny too. Like this is the perfect film that I think would have done really well as a VOD, like co-release, like a VOD.
I always say that every time around Oscar season because there's so many.
I tell you, yeah.
Great movies that either are not playing really, anywhere, or they're playing, one theater, a couple of shows, and
they're all going to be pirated anyway. You might as well just make money off of them, and have people be able to see them before the Oscars.
Yeah, because there's so many of those small movies coming out. Like a movie I saw a couple weeks ago, 3 Billboards, was great, but it's not getting a huge. It's going to get swallowed up by
Yeah, I think that's getting some Oscar buzz. People are talking about it for Oscars.
That'll get nominated. That was a great one. And then, but like this movie, this has a star power release of Rogen and Franco.
I mean, kinda star power.
I mean, they can get on, the talk shows and stuff.
Sure. Yeah. Because what's Franco's big role? Like, has Franco had? He did the
127.
That's it, right?
Yeah. He got nominated for that one.
Right. Yeah, that was his big one. Yeah.
But he had his kind of stretch there for a while where he started just doing weird shit.
Yeah.
Like after 127 hours, he did like a stretch on General Hospital for no reason.
Because he can.
Yeah. Our friend, he's in this movie on HBO, The Deuce. I don't know if anyone's seen that, but friend Mike swears by it.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in The Labyrinth. He was He's not, but I wouldn't. No, he's definitely not a blockbuster, bankable guy,
Mm-hmm.
really.
Mm-hmm.
But he's certainly famous.
So yeah, no. So Tali's saying she did see the Disaster Artist. So she
Oh,
did. Yeah.
yeah, we didn't. We just kind of did this one on the quick.
Yeah. Yeah. We had no idea what the hell we were gonna do this week. It was because again we're gonna do Attack of the Clones next week, right?
Yeah, just got a little Star Wars
Yeah,
refresher.
and then we'll do Star Wars after that. Last Jedi. That
9 days left.
kind of rounds out the year, right? I think we'll have one more after that. For this year.
Uh,
No,
two.
two more. Is it two more?
Yeah, because there's then
'Cause
Jedi comes out on the 15th, so we'll do that on the Tuesday.
Maybe
And
we'll see
then,
if there's any like Oscar movies or whatever that we can try to squeeze in.
yeah,
Like
I'll seen a few things by then. So
Spielberg has one coming out, right?
yeah, the Post
In post. It's got that
with
coming out.
Hanks and Meryl Streep. I think you can just put those Oscar nominations in a array.
Yeah.
And I was wanted to bring up the trailers that we saw before this one,
Oh yeah.
and just note how out of touch I guess we are with comedy these days. Because there's this movie. I guess people have seen the trailer by now. It's Cock Blockers. This fucking John Cena, Leslie Mann, and Ike Barinholtz playing. I guess single parents. I wasn't really sure
No,
who have their.
yeah.
I wasn't sure if either one of them were married to
Right.
Leslie Mann. Who have these kids going off to prom who are doing the sex pack thing because that's what it's still for 20 years 30 years after American Pie we're still doing that fucking gag.
Might as well.
And they have to go out and stop the kids from doing it, and it's just everyone's fucking guffawing in the goddamn audience, and me and you were just sitting there like, how the fuck is this funny?
Yeah. That's when you realize like get off my lawn like that's I do find it interesting though is like you brought up American Pie and the sex pack was between the guys in that one and no one was trying to stop them.
Oh no.
But the girls in this one gotta stop them.
It was just stupid. I mean, you got John Cena, big fucking wrestling hulking guy.
What the fuck, John
it's
Cena?
like wearing shorts with a fanny pack is this awkward guy. It's like, come on, stop. And Leslie Mann, God bless her, but she's just playing the same fucking character she plays in every one of these movies.
I, Tanya looks good.
I, Tanya looks really good. I think that comes out this week.
Oh, does it? Yeah. Margot Robbie looks really good in it.
Yeah, I love that story of the 94 or 92 Olympics. I forget what it was. I think 92.
It's election year, right? The Summer Olympics is every election year. So it'll be 92?
Yeah. It was, yeah. So that'll be, I think that should be nominated as well.
Oh, she'll get nominated. Like, she looks so good in that.
Then there's the water movie. What's it? Shape of Water?
The Guillermo del Toro. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's going to get some buzz.
Yep.
Like I said, and also get out there and see the 3 billboards if you guys get a chance, because it's really something special.
Yeah,
so
what's funny too is I've heard such mixed things about it.
Really?
Like I've heard people that swear by it and say that they absolutely love it, and then other people that think it's trash. So it's a very divisive movie right now.
It's very divisive, I would say that, but I'd be hard to call it trash.
I'm telling you, man. I've the wonderful world of Twitter.
I mean, my mother went to see it with my aunt, who's very Christian, and she was didn't even say she was offended by it. So, and they use every N-word, F, gay slur you can think of it in this movie. But Frances McDormand will definitely get nominated.
She's fantastic.
And I would give one to Harrison Ford for this one.
Harrison Ford.
Woody
Harrison Ford, I love it.
Harrison, he should get one as well,
Woody
just for Meredith. But Woody Harrelson plays the sheriff in his little small Missouri town. He's just great. And your man crush, Sam Rockwell.
Hey, Sam Rockwell. He's a great actor. Fantastic actor.
He's great, and he takes on a role that's not a comfortable role. So he plays the local cop who's just a jerk off from high school that you all know, who had nothing else to do, so he became a cop, and he's still the racist asshole you always know him to be. And he abuses his power as a cop, but then he takes it somewhere, and I don't want to give away too much, but he takes it. You understand him more at the end. So it's a good story about life and dealing with death, and like I said, it's hard to talk about it without giving away too many spoilers, but
Yeah, yeah,
I definitely recommend anyone to go see that one.
yeah. I'm a huge fan of Sam Rockwell. You know that. I got to get the interview that we did with him up on the site because it's not on the site anywhere.
Oh, really?
No, it doesn't because it existed in the long time ago. Because he was the first interview that we ever did with Sam Rockwell, and like he's when you watch a movie and you're just like, oh, there's Sam Rockwell, there's Sam Rockwell. He's such a cool career of so many
No,
different things. So I'm always happy to see him continue to get work. I think it's well deserved. Francis McDormand, fantastic, and I'm a big fan of Woody Harrelson too.
oh, he's another one who just like he fucking started in the '80s in Cheers, and
he's in
he's
Cheers, and then well, his big breakout really was I mean, he did White Man Can't Jump, but his big breakout was Natural Born Killers.
yeah, that was the one where it's like, wow, this guy.
It's like, what the hell? This guy can
Like,
act.
yeah, he's been doing it now for 30 years.
Yeah.
It's like he still looks great. He still takes on whatever he's written. He'll do a small thing like this. He'll do a blockbuster. He's supposedly in Han Solo. Who knows? But
yeah. Then he really will be Harrelson Ford.
Harrelson. I'm gonna hashtag that one.
Tali's saying that she thinks Amy Adams could have played Tanya Harding. I think so too. I mean,
Robbie just has that
Robbie
long
just,
eye, has that
got the psycho.
trash, fucking that trashy voice down so well. She did it in Wolf of Wall Street. She had that accent down, and you can. And a lot of people, our friend Nick is like, "Oh, you can't buy Margot Robbie. She's too good looking to be Tanya Harding." But they ugly her up pretty good for this. It's like dress her in the early '90s cheap shit, and turn her. Allison Janney too, from what I've seen in the trailer, she looks as the psycho mom. Yeah. She'll probably get some consideration.
Margot Robbie, do you remember? Did you ever watch that show Earl?
Yeah,
looks like Earl's ex-wife. Like Margot Robbie looks like Earl's ex-wife in
well,
I, Tonya.
She was the Margot Robbie of that era. Who was that? That was
yeah.
Oh, because she was also
the show's name. My Name is Earl, right?
Yeah.
The show. I can't remember the actress's name, but like
she was like that girl from that time. But Margot Robbie's been success. She's been in some major movies.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
And she might be doing her own version of fucking Harley Quinn now. That's a nightmare for DC. That's right. Jamie Presley.
Yeah. It's funny too. Yeah, you think about DC, and it's like I don't want them to completely reboot. I don't want them to. It's heading in that direction because I like the people that they've chosen. Like Margot Robbie's perfect to play Harley Quinn.
Perfect. So. Ben Affleck is good at Batman, but he's done.
Yeah.
They're not going to give up Wonder Woman. That made money.
No. She's the only one that's.
Yeah.
So doing a complete reboot doesn't make sense. Like they got to do a scale back or something.
But as it looks, it's not. Justice League is going to make less money than Doctor Strange, that's embarrassing.
It is.
Like there's been debated whether it bombed. It's not a bomb because it's going to make $600 million or whatever. So you can't call it a bomb, but
still,
where it's not even the most profitable DC movie under Suicide Squad. It's like it's just a failure.
Disaster. Yeah. All right. So Disaster Artist again. Highly recommend it. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, if you can see The Room first, you might want to. It's I don't want to tell you where to see it, but you can. It's out there. Because you'll be in on it more. But then on the other hand,
I don't know, man. Yeah.
It seems like you have to watch The Room in one of those screenings that they do to really enjoy it.
I think, yeah.
Because watching it alone, you just notice, wow, this is just horrible. But I guess when you're watching it with people and they're all laughing and throwing shit at the screen, it makes it a more enjoyable experience. So, but I think that stuff only happens in LA for the most part, I think.
Yeah, it's funny. You mentioned it before the show, too. I've been meaning to mention this for a couple months now. This year's the 10-year anniversary of the short film that I made, Z is for Xanax. And I made that film. It was a 20-minute short film. I made that film with a $2,000 budget, if that. Like little less than $2,000 at the time. We rented our equipment. Yes, we did. Um, the camera. It's funny too. Is the camera that we ended up that we rented. I ended up buying like years later for like $250. I was like,
for
oh man,
posterity.
yeah, I have it somewhere. Um, but the thing, like, it's like, man, if I had $6 million back then to make a film, 10 years ago.
But the crazy thing is, your $2,000 probably looks not as bad as this $6 million,
No, it doesn't. Yeah,
because
no,
you didn't try and use a horrible green screen
that's
and
right.
bad audio dubbing.
Shot in my old apartment in Bloomfield.
Oh God.
Can't green screen that.
Oh, we tried.
Oh, not Bayonne, thankfully.
Oh God,
No,
that
no,
would have
not
been
the
fun.
Bayonne. The
You
Bayonne,
could have
like, yeah.
you could have done a lot more with that scenery. That would have been with the red walls and then the striped walls.
I remember Nick Menard's brother saying it's like he walked into the apartment. It's like walking into a bag of Skittles. Oh man, when we moved out. Well, I mean, I moved out before. Like I was, there's still like 4 or 5 people that I guess lived there after I moved out. I guess when the final people moved out of that apartment, like there was no deposit getting back. I mean,
Oh
there's
God.
no way that a security deposit was being given. The amount of primer that was needed to repaint that place is just. I mean, it's probably like seriously like
Primer,
$4,000 worth of primer needed.
just to get the stench of
Oh
hatred
yeah, I
and
mean, well, let's get. I'm not. I'm just talking about getting the paint off the walls. That we painted the ceiling black. Like there was a ceiling that was black.
because you want to make the room smaller, just to kind of.
Yes. Well, the
Some
walls
people,
were red and the
some people,
ceiling was black. Yeah.
some people paint to make their rooms appear bigger. You guys went the opposite way.
It was so weird. Like we had that one room that was red walls, black ceiling, and then the room next to it was like green, and then
It's
the
Christmas.
then going downstairs into the living room, it was like sponge painted orange with a bright yellow ceiling, and
And you guys didn't even do acid, which
and
is the
then
weird.
going into the kitchen, it was light blue with surprisingly straight dark blue
You,
stripes.
you guys did that well. I'll give you that
That
one.
that well, I had no say in that. I
I
came
know.
home and like Rich and Chris had just done that. I'm like, what the fuck did you guys do?
Gigantic pool table. No one in the house played pool.
You couldn't even do it. It's just it's
If you
that
open the window,
Seinfeld episode with
if you open the window, you can get it.
a couple shots in. Yeah. I don't know. Do you have any news? I saw that Tarantino's trying to do a Star Trek movie. That's what I saw.
Star Trek, yeah, but I mean, who knows with him? I think the bigger news of the day was, I guess, Disney is back on trying to buy Fox.
Yeah, 20th Century
What
Fox. So
what that'll mean?
they'll buy everything, all the Fox properties, except for
Except for not the
Fox
news
News.
division
Yeah.
or the sports division.
Right, right. So, but it would be Fox, the channel Fox, FX,
They would get the
FXX.
channel.
They
They
would
wouldn't
get those
get.
channels. They would get those channels. Yes, that would be part of
Wow.
it. It'd be that and the movie side of it, but they would not get Fox News and they would not get whatever the Wall Street Journal stuff. I think that's separate entities anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's outside of Rupert Murdoch's Fox. But yeah, Fox Sports would stay there. Um, Again, like it's the play to try to get some of their characters back, right? I mean,
But it's so much. I think it's just more Fox giving up than anything. It's just how do you
they
keep
can't
competing?
can't compete.
You're down to now just three, almost three companies.
I mean, until Bezos decides to get in on it, and maybe Bezos buys Warner Brothers. Maybe Amazon just owns Warner Brothers or something, because it's bound to be conglomerate versus conglomerate, and who's going to go up against Disney/Marvel, and it's going to be another big company.
Disney's going to have all of Marvel and Star Wars. I mean, they really and also just all their cartoons make $1 billion as well. So
Yeah, it's a fair point. So is that the rest of the Marvel is with Fox, or is there some other stuff? Because let's see,
Sony still has
Sony still has Spider-Man officially,
and his
and some of the
world.
world. That's right.
Yeah. But Fox had all of
X-Men,
X-Men and Fantastic Four.
And Someone still has the rights to Incredible Hulk.
No, I think that's Marvel.
Nope, 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 no
Really?
siree. Someone
Sorry.
has the film rights to Incredible Hulk, so they can't do a standalone film without uh, getting
Hmm.
permission.
Well,
Because they had to get permission, I think, when they did that Incredible Hulk movie with Ed Norton. I can't remember who it is. I don't think it's Fox though. Yeah, I think there's some random company that has like the rights to Incredible Hulk, the film rights. Um,
which is fine. I don't think they're looking to make that
no,
soon anyway.
no, but I think that was one of the big deals of why they were able to. He's able to appear in their films, but I don't think he can star in one without
Well, that was the
approval.
other thing too. Since we've been gone, the Infinity War trailer finally dropped.
Oh yeah, what'd you think of that?
I mean, it's definitely epic looking.
Oh, yawn. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Like, I love the memes of Thanos looking like Homer Simpson.
Yeah, that was fun.
Um,
And then again, he's only. I think the original thought was Infinity was going to be a 2-part movie, but I think he's now attached to Deadpool because he's
Brolin.
yeah, Brolin's playing Cable, so I think now that's going to be just one and done.
No, no. I think it'll be 2-part because I don't see them beating Thanos in this movie.
I would hope not. That'd be a fucking because they've been building this guy up for the whole
Yeah,
stretch.
I don't see them beating Thanos in this movie. I feel that this movie kind of leaves things in disrepair. Like it's not gonna. This isn't gonna be a happy movie. It's my
Yeah,
guess.
they've been. That's what we thought about Civil War too, though, and that was not happy, but then kind of snapped at the end, like, oh, we'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah, Civil War. No, I was telling you like because I had my 7+ hour flight over to Holland last week, and so I watched a couple of good movies. I watched Chuck, the Chuck Wepner movie, which I thought was really good. It was a fun time. I finally saw Dunkirk, which you joked about. It's like, oh yeah, watching it on a screen like this big, which I said to you, I think kind of actually worked. It was very kind of claustrophobic and intimate, and it actually worked for me. But then, I just filled in the time by watching superhero movies. So I watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2 again. I watched Wonder Woman. I watched some of Civil War. Yeah, my feelings of Civil War don't change. It's, I think I might like Zemo a bit more on on this latest rewatch. I don't know, it's second, maybe it's third I think I've only seen it. It's probably the third time I saw it. I think I like Zemo more as a character, but overall the plot, like, it's such a step down from Winter Soldier. It's like a marked, just like Winter Soldier was like here, and then like Civil War is like,
Well, it's
they
funny
did.
because they came out with the. You ever watch the Cinema Sins? Like everything wrong with these movies.
Mm-hmm.
They came out with the Spider-Man one today,
Mm-hmm.
and they throw in the line where in the movie Spider-Man goes to Iron Man. Well, why'd you? He was talking about how I fought off Captain America, and Iron Man goes like, "Oh, if he wanted to, he would have killed you in 2 seconds." Like, it was like when the guy comes voiceover was like, "Well, so you're admitting the whole Civil War fight was bullshit?"
Right. Pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. Yep. It was a slap fight.
Yeah. So and that's what even the 2 minutes of the Justice League fight was more fun for me than
Totally.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was just them against one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I also saw that again with a couple other
Yeah.
friends,
Yeah.
and I was the one who was loved it on here, and it's still it's just not as fun the second time around because once you know it's all coming, it's like, oh yeah, we're here again. Yeah. And then the flaws are still there. I mean, I never said the flaws weren't there, but now they're just more glaring, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, as we're getting to the end of the year, I guess, start talking about like roundups of best movies that we saw. In regards to comic book films, it's Logan and Wonder Woman at the top.
Yeah.
And the rest are, I mean, the next step, I guess, would be like Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor are kind of.
Was Strange this year?
Strange was last year. It's
Was it her?
November of
Yeah, yeah,
2016.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
about, it was
Oh,
about, it
of
was about,
course.
it was about a year ago. Yep.
How could I forget?
Yes, yes, Marty. Yes, it was November of 2016.
The date?
Also an Olympic year last year, right? Was it Olympics last year? That's all
Uh,
that happened last year was Thor
uh,
in the Olympics. Yeah.
Russia got kicked out of the Olympics today for this year. So I'm
It's
thinking,
gonna cost Krusty the Clown $40 million, 44 million.
but I think we go to Russia, say, all right, we'll let you back in. Just let us know what happened, and we start making deals here. I think they care a lot more about Olympic hockey than they do about U.S. relations.
I'm sure. I'm sure. It's a big deal. Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's. I mean, like I said, we got a lot of big movies coming up. Really, that's why
Okay,
it's
so
almost sucks in a way because I'm gonna want to go see Last Jedi 4 or 5 times. So then to squeeze in all the other movies as well, it's
oh
gonna be
man,
hard. But we're gonna try and get to as many as we can.
that's crazy. Anything else? I guess we did a good roundup of this movie.
Yeah, like I said, everyone. I mean, I think it's gonna be wider release this week. Try and get it in before all the other movies start coming out. It's harder, but I mean, I don't think you have to tell anybody who loved the movie experience of The Room that they need to go see it. But I'm sure they're already going to. But
Yeah.
even as just like I said, as a case study of as just good acting performance, I think James Franco will get one. I think he deserves an Oscar nomination for this. I don't think he probably won't win because it's time for Tom Hanks to win another one probably.
Probably.
And
It's been a while.
I don't know if the Daniel Day-Lewis movie is going to be eligible. I'm not sure when it's coming out.
Oh, it's got to. Oh, I'm sure
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, I'm sure that.
I'd be hard pressed for him to have his last movie not be Oscar eligible.
I
So.
haven't even heard much about that. Yeah, it's a
They
good.
found they put out a trailer a couple weeks ago. I tweeted it out, and I wasn't enthralled by it. I
Really,
must
there was a
say.
trailer.
Yeah, yeah,
I have to go check it out. I was not
and
aware of that. I should
oh.
pay more close attention to our Twitter. Was that traveling? Maybe I was traveling.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. It must have been.
Maybe it wasn't right.
But I thought in the trailer, so they were saying like comes out in February or something. So.
Oh wow.
But
Well, maybe it's a release for
yeah,
Oscars,
they'll do something.
and then it comes out. I'll have to check that out.
So yeah, big thumbs up for Disaster Artist. Big thumbs up for Three Billboards. You guys want to go out and see those before we get back into? We just had 2 weeks of superhero stuff. Then we got a little lull. Then we get into some Star Wars and then Oscar. So
Yeah. And told Abe, every so often he can come take over the show, do something again.
yeah, the Pop Access crew. I think they had some fun with going back and looking at Orson Welles last week.
Yep.
And I'll put it up again. We tweeted out Leia and Tom's movie,
Mm-hmm.
little short that they did on YouTube. So we'll include that again. You guys go support them.
Yep. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Close out another episode of the Movie Stuff Show. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe to us, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Movie Stuff Show. Marty does tweeting. I apparently don't pay attention to the tweets. You can join us next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Believe that Talia is going to join us next week. Talk.
Yeah, anybody who wants to talk some Star Wars with us as we get ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Talia said that she's in, so talk some Star Wars. Maybe 4 people or something like that. Yeah, that's all I got. Marty probably faced some pictures all around my face and all that. So, good night. Bye, everyone.